around the world to also connect with us. So we open the space. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. So what do? We have been providing over the last 18 months or so, since the start of the lockdown, um, support in terms of how we can look after our health in these challenging times. And the way we look at health is based on what the mind is. So when we're anxious, when we are fearful, when we are scared, when we are depressed, when we are feeling isolated, when we're feeling under threat, all of these things will make your immunity low. And because your immunity is low, even the flu is dangerous, let alone COVID. Okay? So we thought, well, how can we help individuals who are facing the changes that we anticipated at the time? And the changes were with the lockdown, the impact that we have on our health, our well being, mental health, emotional health, physical health, isolation. I was at a retreat recently, with a friend of mine, and somebody was really, and there was resistance. So the impact that we have had upon ourselves as human beings has conditioned us now where we are afraid to socially interact. All of these um, implications of the COVID, the lockdown, the fear, not touching each other, having the mask, da 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 da, all of that has left a mark on our psychology. And that mark is now starting to come through. And we begin to notice our sleepless nights have increased. We begin to notice we feel depleted very suddenly. We begin to notice something doesn't quite seem right, but we can't necessarily put our finger on it. We seem to have this underlying anxiety creeping up at times, and a sense of being insecure, a sense of being insecure, a sense of being unstable, a sense of being a little bit lost. These are all what were anticipated. So, what can we do to stop that? The first thing to realize is what your mind tells you isn't always the truth. So, when it tells you that the sky is going to fall, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to fall. Okay? So it's important to realize that you can't believe everything you're telling yourself. Now, in order to realize why your mind can quite easily take you into a drama, we have to first realize that we are not the mind. We have a mind. What is the mind at this stage? At this stage, the mind is that little voice that talks to itself. All right, let's just look at it like that. That's that little mind at this stage. You weren't born with it, it was created in you through your language, through your conditioning, through your religion, through all the control structures that we have. So it's not humanity that is ill. You are born in an ill society. You have no choice. You're born innocent, had no choice. Before you knew, did you know what you were looking for in life when you were born? No. Did you know what was of value? No. You had to be taught. This is of value, not this. Working 40 hours, 60 hours a week, sacrificing your health is of value. Your health is not of value. They told you the rainwater has no value, but they put the same stuff in a bottle and they said, this has value. And like sheep, we go for it, right? So you can see how we are created and how our minds are conditioned to react to certain things. Now, because there is no education, absolutely none, and I say that across the board, whether it's in a religious space, whether it's in a psychology space or a science space, no one teaches you what your mind is. Everyone wants to teach you what your body is. but no one teaches you what your mind is. And your mind and your body are connected. So what we try and provide is as much possible practical processes in order for us to first recognize that we can sit behind the content of our mind, that there is this awareness in us, this awareness that never changes. This is what you were born with. This is what was in your mummy's tummy. This is what you will die with, right? This awareness doesn't go anywhere. It's just awareness. That is your individuality. The name, the conditioning, all can influence your life if you let it. But we have to learn to step back. So, with this meditation that we provide here, we try and allow individuals to practically learn how to come out of this content of their mind such that they're able to experience a level in which first they will be reducing their anxiety or depression or stress. Yeah. Or if depression, anxiety, stress, anger, greed, attachment, they're all mental products, nothing to do with your body. When you're attached to someone, it's not like you're holding their hand. Yeah. Your car gets damaged, your phone you lose down, drop it and it cracks. These attachments, that little pang that you feel, that attachment is an internal attachment. It's not that you're holding on to something. So greed, wanting something more than you need, which is what the disease we're in at the moment. This is an internal space. It's not an external. That's the activity. What you do to go and get that desire fulfilled is your external bit. So everything begins with the mind. And if you have no knowledge about your mind, then you have no knowledge about yourself. Then it's very easy to control you. Very easy to control you. Doesn't matter. Whether it's religion, whether it's medicine. Back in the day, when you had a headache, you went and got some water. But that was replaced when you have headache, you go and get a pill. Conditioning. Conditioning. We are now experiencing as humanity that conditioning being exposed to us. And our worldview, the way we see life to be and the way we thought life was, isn't that. That's the pain that we're going to go through. And we are going through it now. And we will continue to go through it for another few months yet. But that's the deconstruction of a system that used to work. We have moved from one kind of, like when you go from, say, I don't know, let me give you an example. Anyone who's walked into a monastery or a cathedral or a temple or a cave where there's been some kind of worship, you will notice the moment you walk in there, there's like a feeling, there's like a feel that you have that you think, this seems to be a place that makes you feel more content, more at peace. Now we are moving into an energy which is the opposite of that. That's the energy we're in. And this energy will continue for a while. And as we begin to find our peace and stop adding to it, and how do we add to it is by engaging in stories that increase fear, engaging in stories that increase anger. So there are people who may not agree with you, but it's okay. We have to let them be. It's okay. They may not agree with you. It's all right. This time, we have to realize that humanity is greater than what you believe. Yeah. So someone may have a different belief structure, totally different. And people who have invested in churches got disappointed when they found out all the heinous crimes that were associated with these places. When we found out what happened in Canada with the children, people broke away from that. They were hurt. The same is now happening with your government. All of us. The same is happening. This attachment, this mental space of our attachment is now going to be tested and it's going to break. Why is it going to break? Is because human beings, you, me, everyone, is now learning what it means to be human. What it means to be human. You're not a sheep. You have this one life. Either you live in a way where do you really think it is in the nature of humanity to control others? Do you really think that's what we are about? Do we see trees trying to control other trees? We have packs that work together. But this idea of harming your own, coercing your own, where does it exist? We do it to cows. We do it to animals because we are superior in our ego trip. We do it to others. Now, I would like to suggest maybe the same is being done to you. Maybe the same is being done to you, just as we are doing to another. Control. It's not human. It's not human. It's not human to look after life that lives for 8 years, let it grow for a day, and then slaughter it for food. It's not human. These things are going to be tested. And they are being tested. So it's not about being vegan, it's not about being vegetarian, it's not about being anti this or anti that. It just means, what does it mean to be human? And the way we're going to find out is once we realize the stuff we've been telling ourselves, most of it is actually just half truths at best. At best. And in fact, I would go even further than that. I would say perhaps 5% half truths. The rest is just embellishment. Your own stories, interpretations, what so-and-so said, what so-and-so said. Make a story up and you believe that for yourself. So when I've done a retreat, I did a retreat last week, I mentioned earlier on. And I asked a group of individuals, I said, when you look at yourself in the morning, do you criticize yourself? Look in the mirror, do you criticize yourself? And all of them said, yeah. I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that, all of them. And if you have someone you love, a child, for example, and they woke up with the most disgusting face, you'd still love them. You still love them. Yet we have this idea how we should perceive ourselves. So how we see ourselves, our self-image, our connection with society, our cultures, our religions, our social systems, and most importantly, our governments and the medical system. When these things are exposed to us in the same way as the crimes against humanity was exposed to us back in the day of the Nazis, or after Rwanda, or after the partition in India, then we realize that actually this is anti-human. This is something that is unacceptable. And the best thing about that is, once you realize it's unacceptable, you turn your back against it. It's not part of your humanity. And if we begin to think in that way, soon enough we will create a society that values life. But we're not going to do it through a fight. It's not going to happen. The fight is against humanity. Yeah? And the game's always been divide and rule. Always. Just like you, in your head, you're divided. There's the good bit in you, and there's the bad bit in you. It's part of the same thing. Can't have one without the other. Part of the same thing. And the same thing is then extended on society. Creates this anxiety, creates distress, creates fear, breaks relationships up. People don't live a life, they live fear. Is that what we're born for? So humanity is going to discover that and is discovering. So out of all the dramas around you, you are blessed to be in this time. You are blessed to be in this time. How boring would it have been otherwise? Yeah? You look back on this time and you say, oh, I remember back in the day, the COVID crisis. Yeah, they look back and we'll laugh. Yeah, we'll laugh. So it's taking that attitude, shifting it. Don't allow the fear and the noise to pull you in. You've got to decide. So we said responsibility, preparedness, and determination. Take responsibility for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. No one. Doesn't matter who they are. Got to take your own responsibility. Two, prepare yourself. Prepare your body, your immunity. Look after yourself. That's your priority. Self-care, priority, discipline. I'm going to do something every day. I'm going to do a bit of yoga. I'm going to do a bit of Tai Chi. I'm going to do vitamin 3, D3. I'm going to do zinc. I'm going to use ancient stuff. I'm going to learn about it. What can I use to help my immunity? Take that responsibility and be determined. Time to now make your decision. Whichever side in this current psychodrama that's going on, wherever you are, you've got to go with what feels right. You've got to go with what feels right. And it's about supporting one another as opposed to seeing the division. So people who have, for example, taken the jab, they're going to defend their position because it's irreversible now. So they have to defend their position. And they have to do it even if it means denial. That's the way it works. This is how the mind works. You've made a decision, and the ego is such, it doesn't like to admit it's wrong. So there may be those people fearing, and as a result, become more violent not towards others, but in themselves, becoming more anxious, more concerned, waiting for the next report to say what's the next side effect.
Well, I'd like to say that they're now talking about another booster. And at the beginning, when the vaccinations were first put out, they said that as soon as you take the vaccination, one and then two came along, it'll be fine, you're safe. Why are they bringing out these boosters now? And these boosters are not going to stop. They are going to continue.
Sure. So again, we have to question the medical system. And the medical system that says that the mind and the body are separate is an incomplete medical system, right? So I'll leave it at that one. Yeah, leave it at that one. So meditation, very simple. We're going to go through a little bit of mindfulness. Simple to do. Most important, do it every day. It's no longer a luxury. It's a necessity. And we'll and see where you are by the end of it. Okay, so back is straight, eyes are closed, mouth is closed. And you feel your body, your posture is relaxed. And if you wish, notice that your feet are flat on the ground. Try not to cross them unless you cross legged. As you breathe in, I want you to take a brief focus and notice your posture and see if there's anything dominant within your body. Pain, an ache, a tightness, an itch, anything like that. Now, if you can just pull your head up a little bit, pull your shoulders back so your chest feels open. And if you notice that your shoulders are not hunched, your arms and hands are comfortable, on your next breath in, Bring your focus to the chair you're sitting on. And as you notice what supports you, whatever you're seated on, what supports you, notice that you actually held in place. In other words, you're not going to go anywhere. Notice that. Notice that the body has sensations where it makes contact with whatever you're sitting on. Notice the sensations. And from the sensations, if you bring your focus upwards towards your hips, we're going to notice what sensations exist around this part of the body. And on your breath out, allow your awareness to drift towards your thighs. So just becoming aware of your thighs, bringing your focus now towards your knees. And on your next breath out, allowing your awareness to go down from your knees towards your ankles. Notice your feet. Do they feel tense or are they relaxed? And then move your focus to the soles of your feet. On your next breath in, bring your focus back to the chair or the floor you're sitting on. And notice that your back is straight and upright. A quick scan of your back just to notice if there's anything dominant there. And if there is, notice it. The location. No commentary, no judgment. Tightness, an itch, a pain, an ache. As you breathe in, bring your focus up towards your middle back. Next breath in, you bring this focus up towards your shoulder blades. And then from elbows. And then we scan from the elbows down to the wrists. Again, remember you're looking for sensations. Notice your hands. Notice the palms of your hands. And then bringing your focus to your fingers. As you breathe in, bring your focus to your eyes. Notice that your eyes are closed. Notice that you can see darkness. In other words, there is awareness. Awareness of darkness. And you can bring this awareness towards the sides of your head, becoming aware of your ears. And then moving this focus all the way to the back of your head. Awareness. And as you breathe out, allow your eyes to soften, to relax. Moving your focus now to your mouth. Notice your tongue. Does it feel firm? Does it feel soft? Allow it to soften. Notice the roof of your mouth. And as you breathe out, Allow your face to relax. On your next breath in, once again bring your focus to your body as a whole, just so you get a sense of it. So you're not thinking about it, you're not imagining it or trying to picture it. You're simply sensing yourself. Notice if there's anything dominant in the body, a tightness, an ache, an itch, a pain, a tickle. And if there is a sensation, notice where it is. Notice the kind of thoughts you're having, if any. And how does the mind feel at this moment? Does it feel quiet or does it feel noisy? Bringing your focus now towards your chest. The focus on our chest is one of the most important practices in this time. And as you focus on your chest, the longer you hold your focus, the clearer you understand how you feel. Right this moment, how do you feel? Does this moment feel comfortable, settled, calm? Does it feel uncomfortable, unsettled, anxious? This moment within yourself. Is this moment enough? Is this moment enough? And if not, what's missing? When your sounds around you. Try not to look for the sounds or try and judge them or comment on them, but simply listening. Allow them to come towards you. Listening. Notice how by listening to the sound, we begin to listen to the silence at the end of it. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose. You're going to hold your focus there. with a tiny little bit of effort, and you're going to notice the movement of your breath. Notice the in-breath coming in, notice the out-breath going out. Allowing the breath to breathe by itself. There's an in-breath that comes in and stops. There's a little gap before the out-breath begins and stops. And there's a tiny little gap. See if you can notice these four parts of the breath. Stay with your breath. If you find that your focus has been distracted by a thought or a sound, notice the distraction, come back to your breath. Following your out breath all the way till the end, see if you can notice exactly when it finishes. Noticing that gap when the out breath finishes and the in breath begins. See if you can notice that gap. Allowing every out breath to move you deeper and deeper into this moment. Simply to be present. Following your out breath all the way till the end. Notice that little gap. Notice how you feel. Notice how the breath feels now. Does it feel light or does it feel heavy? Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel fast or does it feel slow? Stay with your breath. Notice that the breath is moving. The in-breath comes in, the out-breath goes out. Yet you as the observer remain unmoving. The awareness. The awareness remains the same, changing. The breath is changing. Bring your focus now to the sound of your breath. Simply trying to listen to out breath as it goes out. Remember, you're listening to the in-breath as it comes in, out-breath as it goes out. Listening as intently as you can. Listening. Listening. On your next breath out, gently opening your awareness to all the sounds around you. Gently opening your awareness to all the sounds around you. Listening. Bringing your focus to your experience as best as you can. Notice your experience. Notice that your presence, your awareness, is the observer of all that's moving, like your breath. While everything else is moving, the awareness remains still. Notice there's no fear, no pain, no anger, no hate. Notice the timeless quality, how this moment creates itself into the next, all by itself. Notice the silence at the end of this spell. Do you feel still or do you feel noisy? Do you feel peaceful? Focus on that. If you feel calm, focus on that. If you feel still or silent, focus on that. When you're ready, gently bringing your focus just beneath your nose and just sitting with your breath. On your next breath out, once again expanding your awareness, becoming aware of your whole body as best as you can. Notice how still the body feels. Notice still in the same place you began. You can sense your seat. You can sense your thighs all the way down to your feet. Your back is still straight and upright. Your shoulders, arms, and hands are comfortable. Your eyes are still closed, your mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed. Bringing your focus back to your breath. And as the breath comes in, you begin to sense your body. As the breath goes out, you sense your body. Sensing your body as the breath comes in, sensing your body as the breath goes out. And if you bring your focus just towards your chest, just the intention to smile can help open this part of the body. Acknowledging that you've taken some time out for your self-care. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in, and in your own good time, gently opening your eyes.